Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia offers the widest selection of sports cards and signed memorabilia in the city. For dedicated casual and new collectors, Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia has everything a collector could ask for. Everything we sell is stored with care, and with help from our knowledgeable team, we'll help you find exactly what you're looking for. We carry Upper Deck hockey card brands like Series 1 and 2, The Cup, Ultimate, SPA, and plenty more. So what are you waiting for? Come down to Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia, Winnipeg's premier sports cards and memorabilia store. Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia offers the widest selection of sports cards and signed memorabilia in the city. For dedicated casual and new collectors, Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia has everything a collector could ask for. Everything we sell is stored with care, and with help from our knowledgeable team, we'll help you find exactly what you're looking for. We carry Upper Deck hockey card brands like Series 1 and 2, The Cup, Ultimate, SPA, and plenty more. So what are you waiting for? Come down to Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia, Winnipeg's premier sports cards and memorabilia store. Mid-Canada Fasteners and Tools has been the place to shop for your industrial needs for over 20 years. Carrying the tools you need to get the job done from the brands you can trust, Mid-Canada Fasteners and Tools has you covered. Brands like Milwaukee Tool, established in 1924 and on display in our Milwaukee Red Zone, the largest red zone in Winnipeg. With construction workers and tradespeople in mind, Mid-Canada Fasteners and Tools is your one-stop shop for all your industrial needs. So come on down to our Winnipeg store location today, located on 1557 King Edward Street in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Well, a very strange start to the first ever pay-per-view piece of content that we've done here on G Show Productions through mmjhl.ca with a new website, a new platform that we're also streaming on. So if you go from gshow.ca, you'll find you're on a website called Uscreen. That will be where all of our content will be stored and will be played first for the mmjhl playoffs. All of our content going to be pay-per-view throughout this 2025 mmjhl postseason. You're home for mmjhl Hockey G Show Productions. Glad to bring you this coverage for our first ever pay-per-view live stream between the St. Vital Junior Victorias and the St. Boniface Riels in the Elite 8, which is the quarterfinals. This is game number 3. The Riels have won the first 2 games of the series to go up 2-0. A critical game for both sides tonight, more so for the St. Vital Junior Victorias, as going down 3-0, never easy to come back, no matter who that opponent is and no matter who you are, especially against this St. Boniface Riels team who beat St. Vital in the season series 3-2 and is riding hot with a lot of momentum heading into tonight's game. But I just want to be clear to everyone who is paying for this game here tonight, the money that you are spending, even though the $5 looks like it's all going to us, we're going to be splitting it down the middle with the league itself, the mmjhl. 50% of the profits will be going back into the league, as they'll be using it at their discretion to help improve their teams, their league, wherever they may see fit. And your contributions, 50% of it, also helping G Show Productions in terms of us being able to produce this content. And it should be a packed house here tonight in the arena itself. Heard the crowd's been pretty good through the first 2 games, and let's take you through how this postseason has started so far in the mmjhl. Is the 8 teams who ended up making it. You can see them on the graphic there. Credit to Ice Wave Media, Dave Wilson and the Ice Wave Media team for putting out these high quality pictures all year long, for allowing us to be able to use them. But it was the Fort Garry Twins who finished as the first place team for the first time since 2001. This was also the longest winning streak out of any team to finish off a regular season since 2014-15, where it was the Raiders Junior Hockey Club who had 14 wins heading into the postseason. The team that took the biggest jump, the Transcone Railer Express in the standings, from 8th place to 3rd place this season from the St. James Junior Canucks. They had the biggest slide in the standings, as they were first place the last 3 seasons in a row. Ended up finishing 6th place this year, dropping 5 spots. This is how the playoffs have started off so far. As for St. Boniface Riels fans, their Riels are up by 2 right now, up 2-0, as we take a look at the playoff bracket, brought to you by Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia, Terraco Goaltenders, and Make Canada Fasteners and Tools. The Fort Garry Twins is the only other series that has a team up 2-0 right now. The other 2 series, Railers and Canucks, as well as Hawks and Jets, both split at 1-1. But this is how things ended up starting off for the St. Boniface Riels, winning game number 1 here in overtime last week on Friday. A game where St. Vital let it slip away from them. They were up 4-0 in it, and then St. Boniface powered their way back to make it 1-0 in the series. St. Boniface with a more decisive win on Sunday in St. Vital's home barn, 6-1. Mason Tebec is out for the remainder of the series. Broke his collarbone in that first game of the playoffs. St. James with a very nice bounce back for themselves, 8-5 win over the Transcone Railer Express. We'll see how they fare without their best player, in Rory Neal, out indefinitely due to a suspension. But as for the keys to the game in this one, momentum. It's playing a huge role in any series, but this one specifically, given that the Riels have scored, a lot of goals in the past, 2 periods in the final game, or in the final periods of that first game, and then in game number 2, of course, scoring 6 goals. They've ridden off of that momentum of coming back down 4-0 in that game number 1, where it leaves the St. Vital Victorias an epic collapse in game 1 for themselves. They got stomped in their own building in game 2, and this sets up a must-win tonight. Look, this team has a lot of talent, but you go down 3-0 to a team that's already as deep and as skilled as this Riels team, and that has had their number so far this series. That could be disastrous for St. Vital. So they're looking to avoid that tonight, hoping their best players are their best players. Ethan Penner will get the start. As for the St. Boniface Riels, Owen LaRocque is going to be getting the start in tonight's action. He's been phenomenal so far in the playoffs, a 2-0 record, and I mean, this Riels, they grab momentum. Can they hold on to it and run away with it in this series as they're up 2-0? Big credit to that huge comeback in game 1 as they were down 4-0, scored 5 unanswered. One of those goals coming in overtime. And yeah, now that you grabbed momentum and you were able to follow up with a big victory in game number 2, how do you follow up tonight at home to put St. Vital in a stranglehold? Nathan Brzezinski, by the way, been fantastic in these playoffs so far. Had a hat-trick last game and leads all players in points right now. How big time will he be tonight? Will it be someone else who steps up for St. Boniface? St. Vital in search of a hero as well. This has been the mmjhl playoff pregame, game day pregame show. For the first time ever on U-Screen, this pay-per-view action about to get started between the St. Vital Junior Victoria as they made their way out onto the ice. St. Boniface will follow, have national anthems as well as the opening puck drop in this game 3 coming up next. Welcome in to game number 3 of this Elite 8 quarterfinal series in the Manitoba Major Junior Hockey League playoffs between the 5th seed and the St. Vital Junior Victorias, looking for their first win in this series, going up against the 4th seed in the St. Boniface Riels, the home team here. I'm your host and play-by-play commentator for tonight's action, Graham the G-Show Forsyth. On your home for mmjhl hockey, mmjhl playoff hockey as well, on G-Show Productions. New home for mmjhl hockey in these playoffs on U-Screen. Apologies about any lag we have tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We can't stop the stream now. We value all of our paying customers that are tuning into this one, and it should be a fun one as we're underway. Period number 1, St. Vital looking to start off with the lead again here tonight.
and to hold it against the St. Boniface Riels team. Has put up a lot of shots throughout the first game, almost 100 combined. It's 50 in the first game, over 40 in the second. The Victorias play D-to-D to start off. Goratsky up to number 15, and Hayden Willis at the line. That might have been Michael Spence, actually, who wears number 19 for this Victoria squad. Into the skate of Reeves Suka, trying to catch up to it, getting a stick on it first. Number 7, and Dane Kiesman. Huge collision at the Victoria's line. Victoria's get possession of this and kick it out in their own end. As this to the middle, that glove down by Evan Lambert is trying to get on it first. Luke Elliott, but Lambert muscled him off the puck. Lambert trying to dazzle his way through the zone, but turned over onto the stick. Blake Lee, he tries to play that towards the net, but blocked up. Rebound there, the Riels clear the zone well. Off the boards, this onto the stick of Dane Kiesman, but Brzezinski, 5 goals already in this round 1 in the corner. It gets it up, but cut off by Victoria along that close side to our broadcast angle. That was Luke Elliott. Brzezinski circles back in his own end now for the Riels squad as he drops it back. Number 39, and Nicholas Miller, as this gets stretched up all the way down into the Vic zone. No icing called on the play as Jorgen now has to battle with Cole Davis. Try to get this free. Brody Melstead also out there. A line held by Reyes. Shot through, turned aside by Penner off the backboards. As Riel gets spilled into the corner. And off go the Vics onto the stick, and Olin Anderson tries to dangle his way through but loses the puck in the process. Up and off the stick of Cole Davis in the neutral zone all the way down to the Vics, and no icing call on the play, of course. He illegally deflected it past that red line. Now that up, Noah Keating sends it off the stick of Crossland on the net for Penner. Plays this to Baron Baker, who has some trouble with it. Baker almost loses this battle, but gets this puck back in his own end. So he plays this around the boards. Is Noah Keating able to hold the line, that onto the stick of Van Dyne, circling around at that right face-off circle, back up to Keating, shooting through a screen, but way wide of the net, off the backboards this goes. The Victoria still unable to get it out. Nice play by Dubois. Or I guess they just did get it out as the Riels circle back to look to attack again. Got a fresh set of legs out as well. Aiden Anderson takes a bump in the corner, but fends that off well. Still on this puck, spins away now. Has number 9 and Rubini, the captain, down low in for support. There's Netraduk out there as well. Rubini to Netraduk. That shot fired on, not through traffic though, as that's blocked up. Goretzky backhands this way into the corner. Aiden Anderson off of Larock into the corner again. As the Victoria's control at the point. That shot blocked. Fanning on that breakout pass. Avon Cockrell and bodied off of the puck there by Rubini. Netraduk over to Aiden Anderson, but that through his possession. His reach, that shot scores! Blake Goretzky gets the party started for St. Vital tonight. It's 1-0 Vic's lead. On that goal, brought to you by our first period sponsor, Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia. Nice job by the Victorias. Physical at the line. They carry this puck in as this in front of the net. Almost danger for the Vics, but they're able to clear it away. But able to work it to the point where Goretzky puts a low shot on net that beats Owen Larock. Not many of them beat number 33 in game number 2. As he played for the full 60 minutes. Hasn't let in a goal yet. Or hadn't let in a goal leading into that game as he came in for relief for Michael O'Sullivan in game number 1 and made 12 stops. This time around, letting one in at Southdale to start things off. 1-0 for the Vics. That goal brought to you by Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia. We'll see how St. Vital not only builds on this, but how they can hold this lead now. First, it's time to extend as Michael Spence, his shot wide of the net. It's all the way down. For an ice in this goes. Face-off draw, won by this victorious side. As Hepner ends up getting the stick up high. It looks like he goes towards his bench for a line change. That's exactly what he does. This sent right in to the Victoria zone. And now chipped off the boards and out by Baron Baker. As the Victorias make their way in. Again, Nolan Anderson shut down by Owen LaRocque. Apologies, folks, about the connection right now. Of course, I can't check it because, well, I don't have U-Screen open. I'm gonna be no announcing for a brief moment. We're gonna get this sorted out. This sent all the way in deep into the Riels end, sorry. As held in by Goretzky, the goal scorer at the point, sends this in deep into the the Riels zone as the Riels get it right back. Lambert, his pass, misses his teammate in crossing. Is this picked up by Brady Jaquette? Past the blue line, just sends it in deep. They're going off for a change. To the slot, that shot from Imbrogno, backhand wide of the net. Imbrogno in to join the battle. Michael Spence battling with Kirkness down low. Two Riels also there at the side of his net. Noah Keating to defend. A pass that may come towards the slot. And Brogno whips this down low. It'll be picked up by Noah Keating off the end glass. Up the boards and out onto the stick. Now Berkshire, he pulls up his shot wide of the net. It's sailed wide. Down it goes again. Onto the stick. Jorgen Nell, he settles this down. Kirkness taking a bit of a stick up high. No call on the play. This is played up to Brogno. And Brogno anticipating the hit and stood up to it well on Keating as he continues down low. Looks to finish his check now, which he does. As Brogno stays in the offensive zone for a split moment before going off of the ice for a change. Brzezinski looking to make some magic happen. Dangling through. Loses the puck. Loose puck there. Dominico shut down as a swarm of Victorias defend their goaltender. And Ethan Penner too right there. So it looked like number 15 and Dominico, I believe it was number 15, is he in the lineup tonight? So draw one by the St. Vital Junior Victoria's team. They have a bit of trouble getting it out though. This top line out there of Anderson, Rubini, and Netraduke. Anderson gives chase on Hepner. Hepner can't quite get this out. Huge block by Riels. Another one attempted, but this time wide of the net. Instead, off the end boards. To the point, Jaquette, his shot wide of the net. As D2D, this goes back in the Vixen. Jaquette back to Goretzky. Goretzky, his pass off the mark, off the boards, and play catch with Riels. It's on to 44's stick for the Riels. Batted out of the air, and hey, stick called on the play. That's a bit of a late call from the referees. As Davis had already wound up to take the shot. 6-3 shots in favor of this Riels side. They trail on the scoreboard though, with a Victoria's goal. Came earlier on in this one in the first 5 minutes of this contest. So trying to take it behind the back with that pass was Nolan Anderson. Not going to end up working out though for number 10. So the Victorias will try to break this out again, but taken away by the Riels. Controlled down low, Davis up to Lambert, but Lambert can't hold this in along the wall. Turns around and fires it right back in deep. As number 2 will stay out there. Noah Keating onto the ice as the Victorias circle around and picking this puck up. Blake Lee with a nice move through the neutral zone, but shut down by Lambert upon entry into the Riels end. As this along the boards, Avon Cockrell not able to get a handle on it. Instead, it's played D2D for the Vics into the Riels zone now. That shot unable to get through as Kobe Edwards on this puck. Gets it to Nolan Anderson. He walks in, backdoor feed, instead scores! Beautiful vision from number 10 to locate number 4 in Baron Baker. Nolan connects with him. And we got a 2-0 lead for this Victoria's team. Some frustration maybe from the Riels bench as well. As that goal brought to you by Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia. Winnipeg's premier sports cards and memorabilia store. Be sure to check them out at 995 Milts Eagle Drive today. Their only store location here in the city of Winnipeg, as well as checking out their website at cancentralsportscards.com. As Edwards makes his way in, involved on that goal that the Victorias just scored as a nice feed, but not to be for Luke Elliott, as he fans on it in the slot. A shot from at the point from Elliott, this time turned aside by LaRocque. and all the way out of the Riels zone. So it'll be flipped out now by the Victorias all the way down into the Riels end. Reyes, first one on it, goes D to D with Hepner as Hepner gets this over to Van Dynes. Off the stick of this goes of Johnson. Goes all the way down. Johnson unable to get that puck back for this Vic side. It's over. Kalen Reyes ends up getting hit there by Kirkness on his way through. This shoveled up the left side. Up top, Hepner. His shot through, but turned aside by Penner. Number 29 squeezing that. With 7:24 remaining in this first period of action, score 2-0 in favor of the Victorias. Thank you for tuning into this one. If you are, to all of our paying customers, we hope to get our Wi-Fi situation figured out as this one goes along. Which we hope does not happen. This for Brzezinski, who takes a bump at the Victoria's bench, sends it right into the Vic zone, though, as the Riels get on it on the forecheck into the slot. Brzezinski fires, but wide of the net. So close there for this Riels team to potentially tying the game. Brzezinski on it again. Number 89 circles down low, now up top to Reyes. Reyes keeps this on the outside, protecting it to the side of the net. Now trying to locate the slot with that pass, but denied. Was a Riel as Netchwaduk right in the lane to take it away. Netchwaduk circles back. Brzezinski able to send this on to the skid. Cole Davis scores! And the Riels have life in this one. Finally on the scoreboard with 6:12 remaining. Making it a 2-1 game now. Cole Davis scores the overtime winner in game number 1 for this Riels team to send them into game 2 with a 1-0 series lead. Well, he gets the first goal of the game this evening, as it's a nice play by Brzezinski to locate number 88 with a short little pass onto his forehand, and Davis does the rest. That goal brought to you by Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia, as towards the net, off the skate of Connor Mitchell, denying that on the rock. As with 5:53 remaining, it just got a whole lot more interesting on the scoreboard, MMJHL fans. It's the Riels, it's the Vics. The Vics up 2-1. But recently the Riels cutting into that lead. 5:53 remains. Connor Mitchell wins this draw. D to D it goes. Brady Jaquette all the way down this goes into the Riels end as Larock goes out of his own net to play it a few moments ago. As this turned over, Mitchell tries playing it towards the net. And the struggles of the Wi-Fi here at Southdale Community Center continue. Sorry, mmjhl fans. We're hoping this gets a lot better here at Southdale specifically as these playoffs get along. Out of our control, but maybe not. We're going to take a look at it during the first intermission as the Riels moments ago cut within one in this lead, into this lead for the St. Vital Junior Victorias. St. Vital still up by one, but the Riels, they're coming here. 8-5, they lead in the shots. Melstead with a nice move in the neutral zone, dishes this out upon entry into the zone over to Nicholas Miller, who ends up not being able to get that pass across. It's the Victorias, unable to get to that puck first, but now on to it. It's Kirkness, bumped off that puck in the neutral zone. The Kiesman. This Kiesman regroups in his own end before sending this up onto the stick of Imbrogno, sends it in deep for the Victorias. As onto the stick, Lambert now across to Melstead. Melstead, he fires this through a screen, but nice reaction by Penner to make the save. With 3:04 remaining in this first period of action, lead 2-1 in favor of the Junior Victorias. The road team who trail in this series 2-0 right now. Looking for a big Game 3 win as Reyes dishes this out. Cockrell tries to shoot that through a screen, but unable to get that through as Davis plays that towards the net, but off the mark. Instead turned over to Jaquette, who sends this pass up. It got sprung for Rubini, but Rubini unable to get to that first. Instead into the glove of number 33 and Owen LaRock, who he's looking to weather the storm as this game goes along for himself. Only 2 goals against on what I should say only 6 shots. So, I mean, the first shot maybe a bit through traffic looking back on it, but a bit of a skipper through his 5-hole. The second one, just a great pass by Nolan Anderson, and expect for LaRock to bounce back in this one, given his track record in this league too. It's the Riels with an offensive zone face-off. Draw one. Reyes towards the net. Rebound there off the stick of Vic and in. It's number 88 right there, and Cole Davis to supposedly put away the trash. That one through our stop motion footage. Sorry about that, MM fans. My goodness. We're really going to have to get this fixed heading into next period. So we may even attempt to fix it right now, but that goal, I believe, off of a Victoria player's stick and into the back of the net pass their goaltender and Penner. The goal brought to you by Ken Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia. As for the Riels, didn't take long for them to erase the lead that the Victorias had. As it woke up sooner this time around compared to last game where it took them a bit more time to get going on the scoreboard. That goal brought to you by Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia. As Jorgen now looking to make some magic happen, trying to dazzle into the Riel zone, but was shut down instead as the Riels look to break this out the other way. Up top to Connor Davis. The captain plays this back for Reyes, who sends this in deep into the Vic zone with 1:23 remaining in this period. Now Rubini turns this over into the shin pad of Dubois, trying to make his way to the net. Dubois gets it right back behind the net as he spins away from the check, and now on his knees and now back up. Great poise there by Dubois with the puck as he got it to Alex Van Dynes, but Van Dynes has it taken away. Tyler Rubini heads the other way. A pass over to Netroduc, tries getting it back to Rubini, but out of number 9's reach. Other way, it's Van Dynes now winding up. Goes wide, now cuts to the net, and off the helmet. A knee of a Riel player catching Ethan Penner. Unintentional, sure, but you never like to see that, especially to the back of the head. Any part of the head area, really. Well, with 48.3 seconds remaining, it's a bomb from the point by the Riels in the Vic zone. I believe Penner might have just got a piece of. Held in at the line by Keating. This is played down low. Bat on the way to dish it out. A Riel as this held in by Keating again off the boards. And now to a teammate. That shot ends up going wide of the net, out of play. .4 remaining in this opening frame. Brzezinski wins the face-off draw, just getting a stick on it with Melstead, who sends this down low. Brzezinski trying to pin up a man along the boards, and Nell was able to get loose and get that out off the boards. This out for the Riels, and taking a huge hit was number 88, Nicole Davis, which results in a penalty taken by Nolan Anderson. And with that, with 5 seconds to go in this period, the Riels will get a taste of some special teams action on the power play. Brought to you by Canton Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia for these next 5 seconds. As this all the way down, sent down by the Vics. A very good play by them. As we go into the first intermission, it's a tied hockey game. Goal scorers in that period, so we'll get to them in just a moment, as the shots were 12-8 in favor of the Riels. They're going to have a power play for the next minute and 56 seconds to open up the second period of action. This first period was brought to you by Canton Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia. And in terms of the goal scorers throughout that first period of action, between Vics and Riels, it was Baker and Goretzky. Baker finding some room backdoor off of a beautiful feed from Nolan Anderson. He put it in. But it's Cole Davis who gets rewarded for 2 goals for the Riels to tie this game up at 2 apiece. They got the power play to start things off, the Riels do. You're watching MMJHL Playoff Game Day here on Uscreen, brought to you by Canton Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia for the first period. Plenty of more to come here, folks, as we'll try to also sort out our connection issues. We hope this wouldn't happen, but of course it has been happening quite a bit throughout this first, so stick with us. The stream may delay for just a moment, and if worse comes to worse, we just play the rest of the game free on a different stream, unfortunately, and then we sort out legalities of it after it's sorted out. But you're going to see a promo screen here, everybody, as we get this sorted out, and we'll be back for a bit more analysis of this first period action and then the call for the second period coming up. This is game 32 of this regular season this afternoon between the Selects and the Chiefs, the Yellowhead Chiefs that is. And this MFHL Game Day broadcast brought to you by Mid-Canada Fasteners and Tools, Terrico, Goaltenders, and Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia. Hepner trying to maneuver away from the pressure, gets it up to the point to Haas. Haas' shot tipped on net, denied by Johnston. Thank you for tuning in on this Super Bowl Sunday, by the way, everybody. Let us know what your favorite Super Bowl after. Oh, it scores! Right as I'm talking about the Super Bowl, it's a super goal for number 19 and Danielle Hepner. To Callie Remillard, plays this over. To Lexi Remillard. Over to Hepner as her shot ends up deflecting off the pads of Johnston. On to Callie Remillard's stick now. She circles up, rebound there, scores! And is it Danielle Hepner again? I think it just maybe makes this a 2-0 lead for Eastman Select squad. Trying to get this down low. It does go to Heidinger. Tries to locate in the slot. It gets there. That shot not able to go through. Now Heidinger banging away at it. Scott Cook unable to put that in back door, but up to the point it goes. Chloe Carrier's shot just getting a piece of that was Gracie Johnston to clog the wall up. Sent down low. Now ends up to the point for Rose Cochran. She tries shooting, but fans on it. Ends up on Hepner's stick. It's number 19 with 2 goals already. And this 2-0 lead kicks it out. That shot on net off the post scores! A hat trick for number 19. As she completes the natural Hattie to put Eastman up 3-0. Are you kidding me? But taken away by Eastman again below the goal line. Worked up to the point. Haas, her shot, looking for a tip, side of the net. Hepner denied. Rebound there. We're back to even strength. Still banging away at it. Eastman shovel in front of the net again, but turned aside by Johnston. As Veach sends this below the goal line for Pollock. Pollock tries to protect this puck. Now out in front, loose in the slot. Despiège-Lair unable to whack away at it. That's a great job by Eastman to converge on that. Labossiere makes a heads-up save off of that deflection as they go off for a change. 1:14 remaining in this period. This chipped up by Maxwell, but unable to get to it first as Lexi Remillard back in her own end. This stretch pass up, connects, offside, not going to be called. Heidinger dangles and scores! Into the opposite corner by Sophia Heidinger, the most recent goal scorer in this game. Now Vader Rigaud plays it to the net, gets it with a great hand-eye out of the air. Face-off, won by Eastman up to Lexi Remillard. Her shot through deflects wide of the net off the stick of Schroeder. Dixon gets it off the boards to the slot. That shot scores! Isabella Carey makes it a 5-0 game. Cochran up the boards, turns this over to Rigaud. Ends up back in the neutral zone. Gray able to get a step. Gray in, has her pocket pick. Great defensive effort on the back check by Blake Hawes as she got a stick in. Off the stick of an Eastman player back down to the Yellowhead zone. This is taken away by Scott Cook. Nice stick, high slot. Cook sends it towards the net. Rebound there, whacking away at it. Delaney Rigaud, but ends up under the pad of Gracie Johnston. So it's over to Heidinger now. Works her way in. Heidinger as she stick handles and stops up now near the point. Heidinger dangles past Taryn Knight. Able to shoot, scores! And inaccurate shot, a rip from number 16 in Sophia Heidinger past Gracie Johnston. Extends this lead to 6-0 for the Eastman Selects. On this girl advantage now. As this intercepted towards the net, Gray wide of it, as she's had so many chances like that. To Delaney Rigaud, she makes a move, making her way towards the net, backhand trying to tuck that in, 5-hole, but Johnston denies her. From Pollock as she continues to work here, forces a turnover, held in at the line by Gray for the Chiefs. Picked up by Pollock again, that shot turned aside, rebound there, over the net, that goes so close. With 17 seconds remaining on what has been a record-breaking season for the Eastman Selects for the first time in their franchise's history, finishing as the first-place team in an MFHL regular season They'll have to wait to see who their opponent is for the upcoming first round, but congratulations to the Eastman Selects, who finished this season with historic numbers all around. Only 33 goals against all season long, which we're going to do some digging. Has to be an all-time best. You'd have to think so.
Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia offers the widest selection of sports cards and signed memorabilia in the city. For dedicated casual and new collectors, Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia has everything a collector could ask for. Everything we sell is stored with care, and with help from our knowledgeable team, we'll help you find exactly what you're looking for. We carry Upper Deck hockey card brands like Series 1 and 2, the Cup, Ultimate, SPA, and plenty.
Oh, the joys of internet cooperating. Hey, mmjhl fans. We ended up resending it during the first intermission, as you might have seen if you were still tuned into the stream here. We're going to show you highlights from, potentially the game of the year, in our opinion, from this season that we showed on our YouTube channel coming up. We may not, but we will be showing you this upcoming period, that is for certain, between the St. Vital Junior Victorias and the St. Boniface Riels, currently tied at 2-2 in this game, 2-0 for the Riels in this series. As they start off, a minute 56 on the power play to start off this period, which will be brought to you by Terrico and Goaltenders, the sponsors for this upcoming period of action. In terms of the action from tonight, as there's 3 games on tap, Fort Garry right now up 4-0 over the Raiders, and Stonewall up 2-1 over the Charleswood Hawks, giving the Hawks everything they can handle in that first round. As for these two teams, set to get going, both tied on the scoreboard right now at 2 apiece. First period goal scorer for the Riels, twice for Cole Davis. For the Victorias, 2 defensemen, Blake Goretzky and Baron Baker, getting in on the action. This period coming up, brought to you by Terrico and Goaltenders. For Terrico, this power play sponsor. So far for the Victorias in the postseason, their penalty kill at 76.9%. As Hepner, his shot through but blocked up on the way towards the net. Brzezinski over to Cockrell, into the skates up top to Hepner, controls this over to Connor Davis, now back up to Hepner, over to Cockrell, loses possession of it, bobbled the reception of that pass. Connor Davis down low to Brzezinski, as Brzezinski sends it towards the net. Davis scores! Captain Riel going clutch in game 3 to start off this second period. 3-2 Riel's lead. This one, a man up, and now a leg up in this one. So they take their first lead of this hockey game tonight. Just fantastic work from a Riels power play that coming into this game. In the first 2 postseason games they had, operating at 23.1%, while tonight on their first man advantage of this hockey game, looks pretty darn good for this team. As Connor Davis with a nice finish in tight. That goal brought to you by Terrico, as we are back to even strength. The Riels with their first lead of this game. Now how do the Victorias respond? Riel seemingly grabbing momentum again in this one, as in tight danger from the Vics. They're able to get it out though with speed Edwards leads this charge out past the red line. That high shot sails over the glove of Larocque. Or so Sullivan. Going to be interesting to see when he gets another start in these playoffs, given that Larocque relieved him in game number 1 and has only let in, well, 3 goals since at this point. Is this sent all the way in to the Riels zone? Riels able to pick it up first. It's Reeve Sukit, who sends a pass over to Davis as Connor Davis ends up and call for an offside. Him and Brzezinski. Brzezinski and one of the linesmen, John, went back and forth with each other on why it was called. Let's get a little up for the goaltenders here. Goaltenders, our other second period sponsor, your goalie's personal video review service. Be sure to check them out today at GordyThomasonGoalies.ca. It's an ex-Winnipeg Jets 1.0 WHA goaltender. High stick here. Penalty coming up to the Riels as this sent out of the zone. The Victoria is still controlling. Finally turned over. So it'll be 2 minutes for a high stick, at the very least. So the referees coming together to discuss this on the right-hand side of our screen right now. We will leave goaltenders on the screen for this upcoming Riels penalty kill. The stands continuing to pack here at Saltdale Community Center. As I think they're trying to determine the severity of the penalty. A lot of fans behind me shouting that this was, I believe they're saying, an elbow in the head. It looked like more of the stick that ended up catching the Victoria, as both head referees disperse, and we'll be going to talk over to these teams' head coaches. Paul Castas for the St. Boniface Riels, Ty Anderson for the Victorias. And funny story about, or I guess not funny being the right word, but interesting story about Paul Castas is he wasn't a coach in the league last year, but coached prior for about 5 seasons with the St. Vital Junior Victorias, was on their staff when they made it all the way to the finals back in 2022-2023, and is now the head bench boss of the St. Boniface Riels. Funny how it actually worked out in this regard is that Zach Franco was set to come back, who was general manager and head coach, and then takes a job in the WHL, which allows for, well, this Riels team to be able to make this move. To make Paul Castas their new head coach. In the offseason, also making Tyler Moore their general manager, who's also an assistant coach. So, I guess no penalty coming up here. We were misinformed by a call from the referees. I guess maybe they just called it a high stick, but it looked like a Victoria took one right in the mouth. Unfortunate for them, they don't end up getting some special teams time, as so far their power play been pretty good through their first 2 postseason games at 25%, hovering around there. It's taken out into the boards. Losing his stick was the player who supposedly took him down, and Kalen Reyes battling along the boards there with Dario Macchia. This is back down low to Reyes behind the Riels net. He surveys for options, looks for options up ice, and finds Crossland. Crossland just past the blue line, sends us in deep before going off for a change. Bertschinger lays the body down low for the Riels in the Victoria's end. Kirkness there in support to pick it up. That outlet pass misses Edwards, though. Back into the slot in the Vicks, and backdoor attempt pass there by Dubois. Couldn't get it through. 1 in Avon Cockrell, either Noah Keating, Birchinger, who are both hovering around the net. As for St. Boniface, this passed up onto the stick. Cockrell trying to dangle his way through Willis, but nice job by 15 to stand up to the ever so shifty number 27 in Cockrell. Is this up to Imbrogno, chips this ahead to Kirkness, as Kirkness, his shot rises, but into the glove of Owen Larocque is number 33 able to make the save. This sent out now by number 27 in Avon Cockrell. Onto the stick of Jorgen Nell, who stretches it up to Spence, who just whacks this in out of his net to play it. Owen Larocque up that left side, turned over at the point. Jorgen Nell can't get this any deeper though, so that's turned over, and off to the races is Cockrell on this puck, protecting it strong along the boards, but finally has that sticked off by Kiesman. He circles around, but fires a pass off the mark all the way down for what will be an icing for this victorious team, who their bench not happy at all about it. They argue that the net was off. Has more conversations with the head referee. As for us here on mmjhl playoff game day, I feel like it's a good time too to just take a look at the stats leaders so far, brought to you by Canton Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia. Nathan Brzezinski added on to his total tonight with an assist already in this game. He's tied with Trey Sullen and Carter Howell-Menderes for the playoff lead in points right now, but no player has more goals than Nathan Brzezinski through the first 2 games. And Riels goaltender Owen Larocque very strong to start things off with a .971 save percentage, 2-0 with only a goal against heading into this matchup. As we get back to play, even strength. Of course, an icing called on the play moments ago by the Victorias as they're able to send this all the way down. Another icing called, and again, their bench not happy about it. Felt like their player in Blake Lee beat out, as I should say, the Riel to the puck. With 15:22 remaining in this period. Lots of time to go. 3-2 the lead for the home side in the Riels, as this hops over the stick of Zachary Dominico. This time won't be an ice, and it's all the way down into the crease where Larocque is. Played it to Keating to Dominico, as I should say, as the Riels able to get this out. As the Victorias try to rim it out, and they do, all the way down. Will Netwood get to it first? No, it'll be Dominico who fends off the stick check of number 11, really nice. Rubini settles this down by getting back into his own end, giving chase. Riel, that's Sukit on Goretzky. Now Sukit met with Davis in the corner, but able to get that loose to Nell. Now, look out, Aaron on the pass as he turns this over into some equipment. Melstead whips this back into the Victoria zone. Goretzky first one on it, quick D to Nell. That pass up the middle to Anderson ends up missing, and this time an ice in that you can't argue with if you're the Vics this time, right? 14:28 remaining. 14-9 the shots in favor of the Riels, who successfully keep this in off the face-off win this time. It's played to Melstead. Into the slot. Brzezinski's shot ends up blocked. Another chance potentially, but into the feet of Melstead instead. Towards the net. Davis looking for number 3 in this game. Would have been sweet for 88, but denied instead by Penner. As now Rubini tries to build up some speed. Instead cut off. Down below by Reyes. Point held in by Jaquetto. D to Goretzky, rising shot high of the net. As the Riels have it stripped away near their blue line. Now up, out into the neutral ice for Brzezinski. Short little pass over to Melstead. Nice job by Melstead to allow this to Brzezinski to get to him as he tried to find Davis as he logged that puck towards the net. Few bodies fallen in the Victoria zone, but no whistle on the play, so they let him play. as this deflects out of play into the netting. With 13:27 remaining, shot 16-9 in favor of the Riels. They've been close these last few shifts, but Penner just a bit better right now. Also unable to quite connect on that. Final pass in the sequence, this Riels team so far. So it'll be flipped into the Victoria zone onto the stick of Connor Mitchell now, who flips this off the boards onto the stick of Dario Machi, who tries to pull up and feed that across, but unable to get it over to his intended teammate. Now that gets over to Mitchell, and he has that stripped away, and now the Riels look to go and build up with some speed into the Victoria zone to Dubois in front of the net. Cockrell's pass. Van Dyne's now tried to drag it to the forehand, but fans on that shot attempt. Machia sends this in deep. The Riels, the Victorias, go off for a change. Not the Riels, that is, as it's still in the Riels zone. Now flipped up in the neutral zone. Avon Cockrell trying to dangle his way past the Vic's defense, but unable to. Along the right wall, shovels this down to Van Dynes. Van Dynes has that takeaway. Now out in front, but loose puck not picked up by this Riels team. Victoria is able to get out. Nice strip of that puck by Brzezinski towards the goal. Off the post, number 89 goes. So close to getting his team up by 2. Held it at the point. Lambert, he drags. Shot there. Rebound, scores! How do you do, number 12? Reese Sukit, welcome to the party. He's on the board for the first time tonight. Number 12, picking up the trash and putting it where it belongs for the Riels, in the back of the Riels net. Recycling's important, folks. And for Sukit, he takes care of the job and puts it into the Victoria's bin. 4th goal of the game for the Riels. Their 4th unanswered. Absolutely rolling right now. Brought to you by Terrico. That goal serving Manitoba producers for over 8 years in the agricultural industry. You really got to go now if you're this Victoria's team. Get back into this game as quick as you can to cut the momentum down. Still got to remember, though, you got a lot of time left. Man, taken out behind the play. Meanwhile, Davis. Backhand denied by Penner. Cockrell has some words for the referee. On his way back to the bench is a no call there. Victoria just finishing his check, and well, Cockrell just happened to be the target as Aiden Anderson out with this top line of Rubini and Netraduk. Rubini couldn't settle down that pass in between his skates a bit as Jaquette held this in initially but got bodied down. There's a hand pass call here. With 21-9, the shots in favor of St. Boniface. This top line to remain out there as it's won by Rylan Netraduk. Larocque out of his own net to play this as he plays it up the left side in his own end. So along the boards in the corner, this one goes D-to-D for the Riels. The Victorias pick this puck up. That shot almost through, but blocked up by this Riels squad as they flip it all the way into the neutral zone. Now picked up by Brzezinski. He wheels in. Brzezinski drops this to Connor Davis. Gets it to the point to Hepner. Hepner, a second attempt to get it down. Now he does into the direction of Reeves Sukit. Brzezinski, first one on it, trying to shield the pressure away from the puck. Does exactly that. Now in tight. Davis turned aside. As Connor Davis denied there. In tight. Already had a goal in this period as in the corner. Now we got some pushing and shoving going as the play whistle down. Brzezinski. Wrestling with a Victoria along the end boards. That's number 11 in Ryland Netraduk. A bit of fire from, you could argue, the Vic's most important player. He's going into the box. But so will a Riel. So we're going to mute it for just a moment here. Kalen Reyes will go in the box for the Riels. It'll remain, I believe, it'll be 5-on-4 here for the Riels, it looks like, as another Vic in the face in the penalty box. So it'll be Netraduk who serves this penalty. As him and Brzezinski were in the corner together going at it. It'll be the Riels who've already been successful in the power play tonight. It's brought to you by Terrico as Keating over down low to Crossland. Gets it back up to Keating. Dishes this out into the skates of Lambert, but he settles it down and gets it to the forehand before sending that down low to Suket, who circles up to the top of face-off circle. Shot denied by Penner as the Vic's unable to clear. Suket right back on it. Up to the point to Keating. Now to Crossland. Has to settle this puck down. Has to take a bit of time. Goes cross-ice with it. Back up to the left point to Lambert, who's now at the right point as him and Keating switch. Over to Crossland, but bad pass attempt. Denied all the way by a good stick in the lane by Connor Mitchell as it's sent all the way into the Riel zone. Building speed, a lot of it. Keating shut down towards the net, trying to get by Baker. Now loose puck in front, picked up by Cockerell. Tried feeding that back door. Unable to connect with number 12 in Suket. Hepner now at the point, being challenged by Mitchell. Nice work by number 14, but nice pressure by the Riels. Nice dangle by Davis, denied by Penner. Heading towards the net. What a backhand chance from the captain. Now Mitchell trying to dive to get this out. He's out of the play still as he never regained balance. Couldn't get that puck deep enough. Cross ice, scores! It's an explosion of offense for the St. Boniface Riels team since about over the halfway mark in that first period of action. It's just they're relentless on the puck. Their speed is evident just when the Vics feel like they're safe and able to clear it out. You need to get past the red line too. Connor Davis right there dazzles to the net, creates all that chaos where his teammates able to finish off. It ends up back in front. As this Riels team, that goal brought to you by Terrico. They're feeling nice right now as they look for more. Shot unloaded on that, just off that blocker of Penner. That just out of his outstretched glove as it's sent down off the boards. Now out as this victorious team chips us in deep. 8:03 remaining in this period, still a lot of time, but have to turn the tide here soon if you're this victorious squad. Evan Lambert now. He drags, protects this up to Nicholas Miller. His shot on the way through, unable to get through, so it was blocked up well. And Brogno has that picked off by number 16, Bertschinger, getting a stick on it in the neutral zone. Settled it down by getting back into his own end with a pass, and Brogno tried to get in deep again, but picked off again in the neutral zone. Now this and across. Lambert towards the net. Loose puck there, but the Vicks able to clear it away. Riels unable to find it as it's stretched up. And now Bertschinger cross ice. That Melstead shot turned aside by Penner as the Riels unable to hold it in the zone. Still haven't given up their 10th shot against this game yet. So they got 27-4 at this point. Bertschinger just content with sending this in deep. As for this Victoria's team, they'll flip it out. So it's just past their blue line, now blocked up by Reef Suka, who wheels in! Oh, off the post! Number 12 looking for his second of the game, but would be denied by the Iron Pipe. As maybe Suka have another chance for himself. Looking like Flash out there almost with the speed, but Kiesman just in good enough position to cut him off to get to it first. Kiesman now, he wheels and deals and looking for potentially a wraparound. No, he holds it out wide instead. Kiesman surveying options, gets taken out. No penalty coming on the play as the Riels send this out cross ice off the boards. And Rubini now fans on that cross ice attempt pass. No worries for the captain though as it's back on his stick. Has to make something happen here, but instead shut down heading towards the net. He lost a handle on that puck as the Riels now looking to wheel and deal. That sent cross ice to Connor Davis. His pass ends up getting through to Dubois in the end as Dubois in the corner leaves this in the direction for Cockerell and Connor Davis, his captain, but instead gets turned over down low and the Victorias send themselves the other way. As Rubini on it first, sends up to the point. No, nice job trying to get that onto his forehand, trying to let a shot go, but it's the Riels who are able to counter. Cocker on that. Oh, what a move by number 27, almost completes it, but lost it in tight near the net where Penner occupies that crease. There's now some more swinging going on. I believe Penner ends up throwing a blocker shot at Dubois. We'll see what's coming up next here in terms of the calls, MMJHL fans. You're watching MMJHL Playoff Game Day on Uscreen, gshowproductions.uscreen.io. No matter where you may be joining from, maybe you found us through our regular website at gshow.ca. Maybe you found us through the MMJHL's website. Maybe you found us through social media. Or maybe you've never heard of us and you're tuning in for the first time. Well, no matter who you are or how you're tuning into this one, thank you for doing so. It's been a game where the Riels have ran away with it on the scoreboard. They look to add on to their totals back onto the power play. Brought to you by Terrico. As this sent down low, looking to go towards the net, but that pass from Van Dyne's picked off. Now in front, Van Dyne's trying to spin around and fire that, but unable to pull the trigger. The goal scorers so far in this period for this Riels squad: Connor Davis, Reeve Sukut, and that's all we have for right now, updated on the stat sheet on the MMJHL's website at mmjhl.ca. One of the Riels goals, Connor Davis's, came on the power play. They're looking to strike again. Davis up to Hepner. That shot unable to get through. Nice block by Blake Lee. Getting in the lane. Brzezinski circles up, sends this down low to Davis. Now back up top. Hepner, he unloads, turned aside by Penner. His 29 continues to battle here. His 31st shot faced. That about to be 32nd, but didn't get through as it was blocked. Davis almost unable to hold it at the line. Almost bobbled it. Nice effort by the captain to get this back. Sent towards the side of the net to Van Dynes. His pass to the slot intercepted. Sent all the way down by the Vicks. St. Fatel able to maintain good pressure on this kill to get it out. Their best looking kill of this game so far. Still 54 seconds remaining in it, though. This could be huge for your momentum if you want any chance of making it back in this one. Netchwaduk just turns and fires this one all the way down. So it's off the stick of Noah Keating as Keating stretches this to the blue line. Cole Davis, 2 goals already in this game, was muscled off the puck along the board, sent out again. Keating just decides to fire this in deep now. Rimmed around hard enough where it'll be to Crossland, but the Vic's able to get on it fast enough to send this all the way down into the Riels zone. Larocque stretches this himself out to Suket. Nice little nifty behind the back feed to Lambert, who sends this opposite corner. Vic's first one on it, but can't get it out. Nice stick by Imbrogno, who tries to hop for this one to get it out. No high stick call on the play. 7 seconds remaining on this power play for the Riels as we go back. 2 even strike now. Ofer on that chance, still with 1 power play goal tonight. Lambert makes his way to the net. That shot denied in front by Ethan Penner. As at the point, this ends up to the slot. Now high slot. Melstead unloads high of the net, but off the backboards, the back glass. To get enough bounce to get to Eric Johnson, who's back on it. Johnson, his shot wobbles through some traffic, but Penner with some good concentration to focus through that. So they have yet to update the 5th goal scorer on the website in this one. Is play blown dead before it even starts there on the face-off. Johnson kicked out as it'll be won by this Victoria's team. As in a take it was Melstead. Off the boards this goes, and now through to number 16 Bertschinger. At the line, he pulls up just upon entry. His pass to Johnson ends up being intercepted. Penner doing the right thing, just settling things down here with 2:13 remaining in the second period. His team still searching for their 10th shot of the game. Been 31 in favor of the home side and the Riels in this one. So another offensive zone face-off draw coming up for St. Boniface. So that face-off draw ends up being won by the Vics, but not out. Noah Keaton held the line initially. The Vics finally do get it out. Machia over to Nolan Anderson, but he can't locate anyone cross ice. Instead, it was disrupted into the shin pad of a Riel as the Riels make their way back into the Victoria zone. Van Dyne's taken down by Jaquette. Questionable penalty call here. It's 2 minutes for a hole coming up to Brady, number 22. Looked like a clean hit from here, but maybe he ends up getting an arm on Van Dynes to pull him down. As we bring goaltenders back onto the screen for a Vicks penalty kill. It'll be the Riels who go back on, searching for another on this man advantage, which would put them up 4 heading into the next period, maybe, unless the Vicks were able to answer back afterwards. Who knows, maybe the Vicks hold them here and end up getting a shorthanded goal themselves. But their best penalty killer has to be Ethan Penner, and he continues to be there. Nice glove save, snagging it and getting a hold up in the play as we got a stoppage with 1:31 remaining. 1:47 in this penalty to number 22. And Brady Jaquette for holding as this all the way out of the Victoria zone. Unable to hold the line was Hepner as he head fakes, trying to get away from Edwards. Saw no clear path to, so dropped it off to Brzezinski as Brzezinski wheels his way in. Now cutting through the middle. Brzezinski unloads that shot, turned aside by that right pad of number 29 and Penner. So this gets sent all the way back down into the Riel zone. Last minute of play remaining in the second period of action as the Riels kick this to the right. It's Brzezinski, gets it out to Sukic. Driving the net, trying to go backdoor instead, but off the mark for Van Dynes. Now, stoppage with 45.9 remaining in the second period of action. Thank you for tuning in if you are so far, mmjhl fans. I hope you stay to the end of it since you are paying for this game. Of course, 50% of the money goes back to the mmjhl from what you give us. Rebound there, Penner on the doorstep to deny. Reeve Sukic got it back up to Evan Lambert. Now Keating across. Crossland hit shot from the top of the right face-off circle, wide of the net. To settle down by Lambert to Keating. Back over to Lambert as he just catches up to this puck. Down low this goes. That shot or pass can't get through for Sukic, but he regains possession. Rebound there, but just out of the reach of Lambert. As penalty coming up. Oh, Lambert. Believe this may be for boarding or a cross check. Don't like that retaliation if you're the Vicks. You want to just have some sort of power play time, as it looks like they will have some coming up. As Evan Lambert, it'll be 2 minutes for a cross check. So with that, we will be seeing one of our very few Vicks power plays coming up tonight near the start of the third intermission, or the third period. We'll talk about it during the second intermission probably, as that shot denied by Owen Larocque. Finally, a 10th shot on net for this Vicks team, who is in a really tough situation right now, heading into the final 20 minutes of regulation, and what is a must-win, in my opinion, for them. So you don't want to go down 3-0 against a team that's as deep and as skilled against this Riels squad, especially when you're already undermanned. Spoke on the mmjhl playoff podcast special today on our YouTube channel. That's free to watch if you want to check that out at G Show Productions. But talked about how St. Vital is finally fully healthy. Well, to back, we got a call before the game, or notice, since we weren't here for the first two games, that he is out for this series with a broken collarbone after facing 50 saves here on Friday. But as for Ethan Penner, I thought that he's battled well throughout this game. He's made some big saves. It just, he needs more from in front of him right now. Doesn't matter how good that team is you're facing off against. 10 shots is just, if you want to go on a run and you're the St. Vital Junior Victorias, 10 shots is unacceptable. Through 2 periods of play so far, you got to find ways to up your game, up it to another notch or two. You need your best players to come through. You're going to need a whole lot of stuff to go your way if you're the Vicks, who have been sliding ever since giving up that first goal they did of the game. Up 2-0, now down 5-2, down 35-10 in the shot category. They will have a silver lining, though, coming up, hopefully, unless they do something stupid and take a penalty for themselves. 16 seconds of 4-on-4 play coming up, and then a whole lot of power play time. They're hovering around 25% to start off these playoffs. Well, could a power play goal be exactly what St. Vital needs to spark any sort of comeback? Find out coming up after this intermission, these commercial breaks of this first, or the second period that was brought to you by Goaltenders or Goalies Personal Video Review Service, as well as Terraco, serving Manitoba producers for over 80 years in the agricultural industry. Riels look to put the Vicks in a stranglehold to go up 3-0 in this series. They're 20 minutes in regulation away from doing that. The Vicks hoping for that not to happen. Expect their best. You got to if they want any chance to come back in this one against a Riels team that's gotten better and better as this one goes along. We'll be back for the third period action coming up soon, everybody. mmjhl Game Day broadcast. This pre-recorded version of this game between the Fort Garry Twins and the Charleswood Hawks, especially on that counterattack. As soon as they take it away, they were trying to get right back into the Hawk zone moments ago to attack. Ended up being an offside called on the play, of course. The Twins pick it up again. Here's Nick Gilberto off the post, and it's in! Hit the inside of the bar, and with that, number 18 strikes first here tonight for the Twins to give them an early 1-goal lead. You get two players that were leaders on the River East Royal Knights. They come over to this Charleswood Hawks team now. The hopes for this team, obviously, going all in to get to a championship. Into the slot, Reynolds scores! And in his first game as a Charleswood Hawk, the new number for Mr. Reynolds, number 20. It's sent all the way down into the twin zone again, and on it, number 15 in Bazin Eros, or Eros. Bazin in front, turned aside. That short pass, he received it, but better to make the save was Pauls. Not that time as the Hawks go up 2-1. Into Fort Garry's end as Pauls leaves that for a teammate. The Twins skate this out. Gorchinski feeds it to the middle to Bolshaw. Passed across to Helamandaris, who turned aside there by Gordon. Helamandaris gets it back though. Cross ice feed to Gorchinski. Rip scores! The Charleswood crowd a bit furious about that one, as usually you see that get called. Neufeld gets taken out hard to the ice. Reverse picks the puck up, handcuffing Pauls a bit, but Pauls able to come away with that save. Now Neufeld gets lit up in the neutral zone, but a 2-on-1 headed the other way as that shot turned aside by Gordon. First forechecker in, waited a bit, allowed for the Twins to send a breakout pass out, but into the stick of Matani. A bit of trouble handling it, forces a turnover onto the stick of number 22. And Jacob feeds it, backdoor scores! It's a 3-2 lead for the home side, the Hawks, courtesy of Morrison. It's Vig Fussing weaving in. His shot blocked and sent wide of the net. Is this picked up again by Cole Penner? That shot through, scores! As for the teams in action tonight, the St. Boniface Riels right now leading 4-1 against the St. James Junior Canucks. In this game, Helamandaris under the bar scores a beauty! Lavina able to maneuver his way through into the Twins' end. Spins around, fires down low, trying to locate Elliott Lewis. That just out of 19's reach. Takes a bit of a high stick afterwards. No call on the play as Van Alstyne gets it back. Number 14, Vig Fussen into the slot, scores! Gorchinski not out there right now. Right now it's Matani along with Hedlund at the points, Medwick, Gilberto, I believe, as well as Lozano scores! As won by the Twins to the point. Hedlund gets taken out, or Livingstone, that is. Huge hit. Number 22 in Jacob. That short shot turned aside by Gordon again, and Medwick got lit up too there. Puck sent back in to the Hawks end. As skating with it's Stevenson before whipping this down the right wall. Cut off by Eric Johnson as Johnson makes his way down low. Tries to backhand that pass behind the back out in front, but couldn't get it there. Helamandaris tries to take it away. He now gets a quick little pass over to Balshaw, scores! Glavina loses his balance and ends up not cradling that puck. Turnover forced, and there's a wraparound goal! The Twins, 3 unanswered, to now lead this one 6-5. 13:28 remaining. This held at the line again by this Fort Garry Twins squad, as they really are getting their cycle game going right now. As that turned over, Balshaw able to, off the post that goes, almost a second. I believe number 29, Caligari, was turned away by Gordon on that shot. Now played up onto the stick, Carlson to the slots, Berber scores! But the Hawks able to get it right back, and again, looking to get in on the attack. But this stripped away by the Twins. Huge hit laid on there by Matani. A tie hockey game at 6-6. Who's going to play hero tonight? Here late in this one. Oh, Elliot Lewis. What a move. Another beauty by Lewis. Backdoor feet. Oh, what a save by Pauls to keep it out. Back into the middle as Johnson has that taken away into the skates of a Hawks player. Glavina now skating up the other way. Has Carlson heading towards the net. Nice job to evade that check-in. Gets it over to Reynolds, and Reynolds denied by Alex Pauls. Coming up on a minute left to play here in this overtime period. Gorchinski wheeling in, protects on the forehand, trying to keep protecting this, but can't. It's onto the stick of Sperber. Has White with him, drops it back to White, stays on this! Over onto the stick of David Balshaw, trying to maneuver his way to net, but ridden out along the boards. Huge defensive play there. 0-0 right now in the shootout. 6-6 in this game here tonight. It'll be Rylan Huging, first one on to shoot for this Fort Garry Twins team. Coming in from right to left. Looking to shoot. Almost loses possession of this puck. Got it back. Tried to dangle in on Gordon, but Gordon denies him. X on the board for the Charleswood Hawks for this round. Vic Fussin will be the shooter for Charleswood to start things off. He comes in slow as well. Looking to dangle. Backhand, forehand, but turned aside. So we go on to round 2 of the shootout. It'll be the ever so fancy Dean Gorchinski coming in slowly as well, going from side to side, tries to fake out Gordon and shoot that low glove side, but can't as he's denied on that one. And with that, this sets up for Kalen Reynolds to potentially get his team closer to a win in his first game in the Hawks jersey. His shot denied by Pauls as he was on top of his crease to come out and save that one. Still scoreless here. A player who knows a thing or two about scoring against Gordon has done it tonight here in Helamandaris. Looking to do it a third time, but can't quite. Another miss for the Twins. Carlson with the game on his stick. Coming down with a bit more speed. Dangle scores! And with that, it wasn't pretty by any means, but they'll definitely take it. The Charleswood Hawks winning this one here tonight by a score of 7-6 over the Fort Garry Twins. The final in the shootout. Matt Carlson with the game on his stick.
Mid-Canada Fasteners and Tools has been the place to shop for your industrial needs for over 20 years. Carrying the tools you need to get the job done from the brands you can trust, Mid-Canada Fasteners and Tools has you covered. Brands like Milwaukee Tool, established in 1924 and on display in our Milwaukee Red Zone, the largest red zone in Winnipeg. With construction workers and tradespeople in mind, Mid-Canada Fasteners and Tools is your one-stop shop for all your industrial needs. So come on down to our Winnipeg store location today, located on 1557 King Edward Street in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Mid-Canada Fasteners and Tools in Brandon takes pride in selling the tools farmers and tradespeople rely on. Like our Winnipeg location, Brandon carries the same tools you know and love. From all the brands you can trust, all in one convenient place. And with unbeatable service, we'll make sure you get the right tools to get the job done. Mid-Canada Fasteners and Tools in Brandon, proud to serve Brandon's industrial needs since 2018. Stop on by today at 358 Park Avenue East.
And welcome back into G-Show Productions' first ever pay-per-view live stream on Uscreen, gshowproductions.uscreen.io. In this Elite 8 best of 7 series in game number 3 as the Riels up 2-0 in this best of 7 series, up 5-2 right now on the scoreboard as well, as they've had 5 unanswered goals in this game. Before we get into anything else from this game, though, the other games happening right now around the league. The Fort Garry Twins on their way to going up 3-0 over the Raiders Junior Hockey Club as they're up 6-1. 6 different goal scorers from the Twins in tonight's action. Larenko with the only goal for the Raiders Junior Hockey Club in this game. It's 4-2. And in Charleswood and Stonewall, a very close game right now at Eric Coy's. It's currently 2-2. As the Jets start off down 1-0, scored 2 unanswered, and now it's actually the Hawks are up 3-2 as they just recently took the lead off of a goal from Nathan Vigfussen, his first of the postseason. But as for this game, the shots 35-10 in favor of the St. Boniface Riels. It has not been the type of game as this one has gone along that the Vics have hoped for offensively. They opened up with the 2-goal lead, but since then it's been 5 unanswered from this Riels team. Alex Van Dyne scoring the most recent goal. Connor Davis gave them the lead. Cole Davis had the first 2 goals of the game, and Reeves Sukit also had a goal in that second period as well. 2 power play goals from the Riels 2 during that period, as they'll be starting off at 4-on-4 for the next 16 seconds, but then it'll be the Vics who will be going on. Well, it'll be their second power play of the game in this third period, which is brought to you by Make Canada Fasteners and Tools. The St. Boniface Riels looking to take this one home. Starting off 4-on-4, up by 3, 5 unanswered goals right now as the top guns for the Victorias, maybe with some different ideas. It's starting out 2 of them, and Netchwa Duke and Anderson on the ice, but it's skated in by Reyes. Now on to the power play for this Victorias squad as the Riels just content with controlling this on the outside and getting a chance on net, which is deflected there, turned aside by number 29 in Ethan Penner. As the Victorias look to work this up. 19 seconds, or a minute and 15 seconds left on this power play. 19:15 still remaining. This power play brought to you by Make Canada Fasteners and Tools. In the corner of the Vics try to dig this out, and they do. It's up to Netchwaduke. Head fakes, passes over to Kiesman in the slot to Goretzky, right back to Kiesman. Now to Aiden Anderson, looking for Netchwaduke, who is going to the net on that left side, but ends up missing. Tried to be too fine on the pass, had to be, unable to connect. As behind his own net, Dayton Kiesman starts skating, pulls up and passes it off to Netchwaduke. Netchwaduke down the left side, around the net now, protecting this. As he loses this on the forehand, it's Jaquette at the point who holds it. 26 seconds remaining. Off the boards to Aiden Anderson, who loses this puck off of recovery. Couldn't cradle it in, but it looked to work some magic now with speed down the right side. Has Jaquette with him as Jaquette backhand flip. Cross ice to Nolan Anderson. 10 seconds remain. Towards the net, getting the deflection on it was Rubini, but the Riels able to clear this away and clear this out of their zone as we are back to even strength. So Victoria's, if anything, looking to keep building momentum off of some good pressure on that power play. Sukit, his shot wide of the net. As upon entering the zone on the rush, a prime chance for this Riels squad. Eric Johnson lays the body in the corner on Baker, but he fended it off well as he got a pass up to Nolan Anderson. Rubini held the line as Nolan Anderson got that pass over to him. Now gets it to Rubini again down low as Rubini doesn't like his options, sends it right back down to Nolan, but that out of 10's reach. Mitchell out there now for this Victoria's team. Rubini still out there. As it ends up to the line, hops over it. Rubini can't catch up to it as it's onto the stick of number 2 in Lambert instead. Or sorry, number 7 in the lineup for this Riels squad. And an AP for tonight's game with Dylan Bach knocked out. School first for the kid. He's got an exam tomorrow, so they're letting him study up with their team already up 2-0. They're looking good without one of their best defensemen, too. Says a lot about how deep this Riels squad is from top to bottom. It's sent in deep by Luke Elliott, giving chase with him. Edwards. Nice draw by Edwards to lay the body, allowed for Luke Elliott to get that puck. Elliott lost it though, as this sent all the way out back in the neutral zone. Van Dynes tries to get a stick on it to get it out. Takes the body instead, gets it in. Right down to the Victoria zone. The Vics back up again in the neutral zone. That long shot from Edwards blockered away by Larocque. So it's Miguel Bonin who wears number 7 for this Riels squad tonight. Defenseman for this squad, just wanted to clarify that for the viewers. As this turned over almost along the wall down low. But the Vics look like they're all right for the time being. Able to get this out into the neutral zone, play D-to-D. Noah Keating almost had it taken away by Spence, but the Riels able to send this all the way in deep now as Penner out of his own net left that for Willis. Gets a pass over to Spence, connects with him. Brogno, but couldn't cradle it on the stick, and Brogno finishes his check afterwards. No penalty coming up on the play. Some Riels fans felt that was late behind me. Brzezinski trying to dangle his way through. He did. No penalty coming up as the fans behind him were looking for one. As Brzezinski hobbles a bit going off to the bench. Riels hoping that he'll end up being okay and just shakes that off. Took a hard spell into the boards. As wheeling and dealing, now Aiden Anderson into the Riels zone, shut down. It's the house one on that one for the Riels. Turned over up the boards on a Dayton Kiesman's stick. Backhand flip on Aiden Anderson's stick. This time again with success into the zone. Gets this through to the slot, but Machier can't fire. Now Kiesman does. Rebound there, Anderson denied by Larocque at the side of the net. That was a nice effort there from number 24. It's the Riels who look to get the speed now. Trying to dangle his way through. It's number 2 in Evan Lambert as his rush up was denied. Jordanelle trying to do the same thing, but had that sticked away by Riels defenseman. This puck stays in for the Vics, but glove down was Owen Anderson's attempt to pick that top glove hand side on Owen Larocque. His 13th save of the night. His shots now 15 for the Vics, 36 in favor of the Riels as they lead in that category as well as on the scoreboard by 3. Up 5-2. That shot unable to get through as it floated into the equipment of Reyes. Vics get it right back. Nice little pass over down low to Edwards out of the net. Oh, Larocque! What a save to Rob Netraduke! That was almost a fortunate bounce for this victorious team, but the reaction time from number 33 superb there on Netchi, a.k.a. Rylan Netraduke. It's an offensive zone face-off draw coming up. Netraduke to take it out there with Rubini and Edwards. Edwards trying to dig it free, can't in the skates of Hepner. It's Cockrell who sends this out as Hepner joins in, takes this away, trying to make his way towards the net, but poke check by Penner as the Riels try to just keep this down low in the Vic zone, but won't be able to. Reyes gloved this down and played it up quickly, but it gets right back into the Riels end. Reyes, nice job to fend off Netraduke and come away with this puck battle in. Got it up to Cockrell. Cockrell dances his way in, passed across to Van Dynes off the mark. Dubois, good support, able to get to that puck and send it in deep. Cockrell behind the net, sneaky, trying to jam it home, but Penner somehow, someway keeps this out as it falls apart for the Vics. Disaster below their goal line. Cockrell so sneaky with it. like Swiper swiping that puck away. But denied just at that right post. Mayhem after the play around the Victoria's net. With Mid-Canada Faster and Tools back onto the screen. We're not on a power play or anything. Still at 5-on-5. Brzezinski back out there. Draw one. Cole Davis off the draw. His shot turned aside by Penner as the Victorias work it back into the Riels zone. Cole Davis connects with Brzezinski in the middle of the ice, but offside called on the play. A bit too anxious there, the Riels. 12:48 remaining. It'll be cleared out by this Vicks team. The Riels converge on them while, though, Mitchell sent hard down to the ice as it's sent in deep on Penner. Left this for a teammate who played it over to Kiesman, who flipped it out. Kiesman back on it as he surveys options. Goes out of play off the mesh instead. As Connor Mitchell has to come back onto the ice here per the ref's instructions. 12:21 remaining. Offensive zone face-off draw coming up here for the Riels. Nolan Anderson to take it for the Vicks, winning that against Eric Johnson. This sent all the way out by this Victoria's team now, and almost trouble for Larocque in the lane there. Blake Lee to take it away almost, but the Vicks unable to capitalize. Many players behind the play as it's a 3-on-2 developing for the Riels. That shot blocked. Penner sprawling out, trying to make a desperation save on what he thought was a second attempt coming. As the refs blow this play dead. Believe the net was off in the Vic zone. As the Victoria is able to win this draw, Jaquette passes over to Nell. Nell has that turned over just outside his own blue line, but able to get back on it. Sukit there to challenge. Nell fires it quickly up the left boards in his own end. This ends up towards the point and out for this Vicks team. We send it cross ice to Machia. Machia gains the zone, tries to connect the pass onto the stick of Nolan Anderson, but that into the corner instead. Anderson went off of the side of the net, but the Vicks still able to maintain a bit of possession as it gets rimmed around in the Riels end. This chipped out by the Riels, now sent cross ice. That a bit behind Brzezinski, who gets it right back. Davis kicks it right back out of Brzezinski, but has that turned over. Netraduk now has Rubini heading towards the net. Back door! Oh! Was that Larocque getting a piece on it? Now Anderson in the slot ends up having that blocked by a Riel. The desperation, unbelievable from this Riels defense, from their goaltending as well as the team in front of Larocque in number 33. There's this hard physical play into the corner, in the Victoria's corner. So they're able to get it out. Rubini has that turned over just outside of his own blue line. Goretzky, his stretch pass up, turned over onto Van Dynes' stick. Now it's on to Netraduk, to Rubini, back to Netraduk. Huge kick save by Larocque. Edwards fans on that attempt to get it back in, and now here go the Riels. Chipped up, but not quite there for Cockerell as Van Dynes had that intercepted cut off. Pass just gets to Rubini, but can't do much else with it, so he lost possession right away. Couldn't cradle it. Stretch pass down for an icing. My goodness, what an opportunity created. A few opportunities from The Vic's top duo in Rubini and Netraduk. Owen Larocque just a bit better on the saves. You gotta wonder too when this Vic's team calls a timeout with 10:03 remaining. This such a crucial game in the series, as if you go down 3-0. I don't care who you are or who you go against. That is not a position you want to be in. Of course, they had some magic back in 2022-2023 in that run, or 2021-2022 as 2022-2023. 2 years ago. Because, the Canucks, when they faced off against the Vics in the finals, it was that season. That almost a big hit just outside the blue line in the Riels end with 9:33 remaining. Crossland fed it over. Number 88, Nicole Davis sends this one in deep. As the Riels, that to the slot! Melstead denied by Penner. Back onto Penner's stick. As Penner decides to just cover this up. Get a stoppage with 9:16 remaining. There's 39 shots now on the game for this Riels squad. They end up being tied up in the face-off draw. Cole Davis able to whack this down deep. It's Kiesman first one on it for the Vics. As Kiesman passes this off to Ezekiel Kirkness, dangles through. Kirkness cannon load is a good defensive stick in front of the net by Zachary Dominico. That shot from a sharp angle from Spence ends up wide of the net. As off the stick of Kirkness, he couldn't cradle that. That into the skate of Brzezinski. Took it in anyways. No penalty on the play, Brzezinski. Or I guess there will be. As now Kiesman, as well as a Riel, not sure who it is, going at it in the corner. And a fight's gonna ensue. Or they'll try to get one going anyways, as a Riel trying to get himself loose. Try to feed one on Kiesman, as Kiesman gets one on that Riel in the corner. Number 15 in Dominico. So with that, the Riels will be going on to the power play, the man advantage. Connor Davis, Rylan Netraduk both await to have a conversation with the referees just outside of the penalty box. And some gloves still in the corner in the Vic zone from where that fight ensued. By the way, seems like we got some new viewers in here. Want to let you know for the future, found this out today, that once you buy this for the $5 pay-per-view fee, this game today and any other games down the line, you own that game forever basically, unless we were to delete it for some reason. But yeah, that's one of the perks of being able to buy it. Instead of renting the game, this one-time purchase allows for you to have it forever. As Dayton Kiesman, he's going to be kicked out of this game, it looks like. And it looks like this Riels squad will have, I'm thinking, only a 2-minute power play to work with, as they got 2 power play goals already in this game. And it will be 2 minutes. Michael Spence will be serving this. So it brings mid-cannon fasters and tools onto the screen, as well as the Riels power play graphic. Worked up to Hepner, kicked out to Cockrell, top of the right face-off circle, sends it down low, tic-tac-toe attempt on that pass for the Riels, but unable to get it. Just sent down deep here by Connor Mitchell. He goes off right away, as well as Luke Elliott for Edwards and Netchwaduke, as these two definitely going to look to get something going short-handed offensively, but have to defend first against Davis, who denied back or at the doorstep. Cockrell unable to get it on net. That rebound was defended well by the Vics. Riels, nice zone entry, leads to them possessing the puck up high once again. Cockrell, circle, settles this down. Two head fakes, still can't shake off Edwards. He gets the puck back. Hepner looking backdoor for Van Dynes. That tip not going to go for number 94. Cockrell back down low to Van Dynes. That pass, beauty! And oh, was that a save made from Penners, somehow making it, might have went off the side of the net, off that Davis shot. Cockrell, another fake, scores! He's been hovering all night. With the puck on his stick quite a few times. Avon Cockrell ends up making no mistake on about his third chance, his third attempt of shooting that puck. A little kick fake before sending that shot through a screen, and absolutely no chance for Penner to stop that. That goal brought to you by Mid-Canada Fasters and Tools, 6-2 in favor of this Riels side now, but it'll be Brzezinski who ends up going into the penalty box for the next 2 minutes here. So we'll leave MCF on the screen. One-stop shop for all your industrial needs in the province of Manitoba. So down by 4, the Vics looking to use this power play to their advantage. It's had some good looks last time out, but getting into crunch time here, this Vics team with 7 shots this period, not going to be good enough. As it's Aiden Anderson who got shut down, trying to make his way into the zone, but denied. He wheels back, tries the other side, makes it in successfully. Down the left, takes it around the net, where he's swarmed by 3 Riels who were able to take it away and send it all the way down. That was Noah Keating with the takeaway. Vics looking to quickly work this up. They do so. It's Goretzky who drops this back. Intended for Netchwaduke, but found number 22 in Jaquette instead, who rims this all the way around. Aiden Anderson trying to shield this away, but instead has it intercepted. It's Melstead off to the races. Has Davis with him. Melstead shoots, scores! There's a short-handed one for you. Melstead says 5-goal lead now for the Riels, 7 unanswered. Looking like they've ran this Vics team out of the building almost. They've done it all special teams tonight. Power play twice, shorthanded this time. And you know, the little details become even that much more important. This is a big deal this time around, as if Aiden Anderson gets that pass through, maybe the Vics maintain more possession, but it's Melstead with a great stick. Had Davis with him, coming down with speed, but ends up using his captain as a decoy. Maybe not even a decoy, but he was definitely there with him. Melstead decided to shoot it instead, let it rip past Ethan Penner, who still remains in this game. With 40 seconds remaining on the Brzezinski penalty, this sent out of play as taking a tumble. And now, look out. The frustration's boiling over from the Victorias. As Kalen Reyes now brings a player to the ground and is throwing shots at him. Continues to throw punches. And I believe number 13 in Daria Machia, no, number 21 in Jorgen Nell, is now just trying to get loose. Both benches applauding, both sides of the crowd. Well, more so the Riels side applauding too. Riels with the helmet ripped off as well. At this point, you just save everyone potential injuries and, start running time. I know they can't technically do that, given that, if there is a mercy rule in this league, I don't believe it would be 5 goals. I'm just hoping that these two teams come out unscathed from here on out in this one. So the referee's still having a conversation. As we are sorting things out on mmjhl playoff game day, that's what's to come on the network this week for us to go all the way till Friday. We're going to have not a game tomorrow, as we already had an MFHL playoff game on the schedule, but we are going to have St. Vital and St. Boniface, potentially the conclusion of this series on Thursday night live from St. Vital. Might not have a pregame show for that one. Going to be tight getting started for that game. We are going to have a pregame show, though, for that matchup on Friday night between the Raiders Junior Hockey Club and the Fort Garry Twins. Looking very likely right now that it'll be 3-0 Twins from last time we checked on the scoreboard. It's going to be 3 games in action on Friday in the MMJHL's playoff schedule. As for the Railer Express and St. James Junior Canucks series, we're going to be covering Game 4 of that, or Game 5 as I should say, coming up on Sunday at East End Arena. As we still sort things out here, Rubini and Connor Davis both talking with the referees with 6:03 left on the clock in this Elite 8 series. This quarterfinals is, we'll show you the standings too while we have some time, or the bracket, as only 2 teams with 2-0 series leads heading into these Game 3s. And 2 teams have split in their season in their playoff series so far here in round 1 through the first 2 games. We'll give you an update actually on how those games are going on for the Fort Garry Twins. They're now up 3-0 in that series over the Raiders Junior Hockey Club. They won 6-1 tonight. Much lower in the shots this time around, 25-22 recorded. That may be updated a bit later on though, since that game just ended. And for Charleswood and Stonewall, they're tied right now at 3 apiece with 10:45 remaining in the third period. They're said on the podcast today that I could see it being a gentleman's sweep for Charleswood or see them winning in 6 games. I still got Charleswood moving through in that one in my predictions, but I'd love to see an upset. If a 7 seed takes down a 2 seed, I'm all here for it. Creates so much parity throughout the playoffs. You can make an argument that, maybe you don't get the best product down the line, but as a sports fan, if you love cheering for the underdog too, what more couldn't you love about that, right? As we still continue to get penalties sorted out here, we're going to throw it to a commercial break, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching MMJHL Playoff Game Day, this first ever pay-per-view live stream on G-Show Productions on mmjhl.ca.
Mid-Canada Fasteners and Tools in Brandon takes pride in selling the tools farmers and tradespeople rely on. Like our Winnipeg location, Brandon carries the same tools you know and love. From all the brands you can trust, all in one container.
Well, look at that. We're back to play here, and it's a 5-on-3 in favor of the Victorias, brought to you by Mid-Canada Fasteners and Tools. Be a 5-on-3 for the next 28 seconds, as Eric Johnson also in the penalty box after the sequence we just saw, which kind of crazy the Vics don't get penalized. sometimes the reffing to me, I don't understand sometimes the calls that get made. But then again, I'm not out there wearing the zebras, making those calls. Respect to all referees everywhere for the hard job that they have to do. Goretzky head faking before sending that down low. Pass off the mark, but cradle off the boards by Rubini. Now cross-ice attempt, that flipped over the right-hand corner by Aiden Anderson. As the Victorias have to regroup in their own end. 1:09 remaining on this 5-on-4. 5:10 remaining in regulation. To the middle for Aiden Anderson. Goes back to the left. He'll delay at the top of that left face-off circle. Up to Goretzky. Head fake before going in on Anderson. His shot turned aside well by Larocque. Took away that angle well. Top right-hand side, the Riels looking to chip this out again. Unable to. Nice hold by the Vics. Over to Anderson. Trying to settle this down. He circles back to do so. Up high in the offensive zone. Anderson still being defended while having that held to the outside. Dishes up finally to the point to Goretzky. You can't thread that through to Rubini. Nice job by the Vics to keep this alive in the corner for themselves, though. Anderson also keeps that alive by keeping it in at the point. Anderson again tries to get a short pass over to Rubini. That cut off, sent out of the Riel zone with 9 seconds of power play time remaining. Maybe one more chance here for Anderson. Puts the moves and puts the brakes on number 7 in Bonin. We're back to even strength. As some good looks from the Vics, but just not quite able to get it done on the power play. A shorthanded goal also in there for the Riels. Demoralizing for this Vics team at this point. As with 3:50 remaining, the Riels looking to hold them under 20 shots again, as they did so in their Game 2 victory. The Vics with some other ideas here, as Edwards has that turned aside by the pad of Larocque. Delayed offside on the play. Allows for the Riels to get possession of it back and be able to skate or pass this out cross ice out of reach. Machia calling for that pass, but cut off well by Nicholas Miller. Of course, playing a bigger role tonight with Boknek out of the lineup. Haven't seen much of Bonin, the replacement for Boknek tonight. He's been solid when we've watched him on the ice here tonight. Coming up, we'll have our players of the game during the post-game show. Stay tuned for that. As for this Riel squad, very well, looking like they'll be talked about in the winning side of the player of the game, as they are 2:33 away from having a chance to punch their ticket into the Final Four, into the semifinals on Thursday night in St. Vital, with a possible sweep for St. Vital. Start off with a 2-0 lead, but the Riels, as they started to break through and get more chances, saw their offense explode in this one. And for the Vics, they've had some great chances as the game has gone along. Still within those 19. It's just Owen Larocque has been too good. Their team defense has been really good and have also blocked their fair share of shots. If you're St. Vital, the effort not lacking, but you're just definitely just disappointed in the output you have on the offensive side, in the offensive zone. 19 shots and being held to around that per game when a team like the Riels are capitalizing like they are offensively and putting up as many shots as they have been, as they're in the 40s again, as this goes down. Not for an icing, it just makes it that much tougher for this Vics team, and it's especially going to be tougher to at least win a game in this series if they go down 3-0 with all the great momentum that this Riel squad has built up through these 3 games so far in these playoffs. In this 4 versus 5 Elite 8 series, the 5th seed, the Vics, looking to make some late game magic happen potentially. No, it's Brzezinski who's looking in. Instead, feeding back door to the side of the net. Penner taken out. Got it in the head. As here we go again, more fighting. Nolan Anderson standing up for his goaltender and Penner. As things are really getting out of hand now. Paul Costas losing his mind on the bench right now. So yeah, we're just hoping this game, both teams can make it out of here, like I said, pretty much unscathed. As this game has been pretty much over for a while at this point. Paul Costas continuing to yap at the referees. And I think he's mad because they're getting called here for a penalty. To be fair, you did run into Penner. No matter if it's intentional or not, or unintentional or not, as I should say, you still make contact with the goaltender. Great from Nolan Anderson, though, to stand up for his teammate, his goaltender, afterwards. Still showing that this team, even though they're down big on the scoreboard, is going to continue to stand up for each other. And spoke too soon, I guess, as it will be Edwards into the box for this Vicks team. 7 minutes of power play time, it says. We're not going to get to anywhere near the end of that in this game here. It has to be an error. I don't understand why it'd be for 7 minutes. But there is 53.7 seconds remaining in this game. Riels just looking to take it home. Without anything greasy or chippy happening. As this draw won by this Riels team. Oh, I get it now. It counts the fighting major as well as the penalty that Anderson ends up getting. That's being served right now by Kobe Edwards, but taking it around their own net and just looking to eat away the time is Noah Keating. Maybe chance for one more rush up. He kicks us to the outside. The Riels just try to send this in deep. Keating touching it up just as the Victorias. Netwood tried to take that away from Melstead, but Melstead able to skate away from him, dump this all the way down into the Vic zone, and another strong response on home ice. Down on the scoreboard to start off another one, but they come through big time here tonight. Instead of 5 unanswered like on Friday night in that 5-4 OT victory, it's 7 unanswered instead tonight in Game 3 for the Riels. They are up 3-0 in this best of 7 Elite 8 series against the 5th seed and the St. Vital Junior Victorias. Great vibes all around. Some players not dressed for the Riels out on the ice, giving them, their players, their support. Saw some alumni too, Nate Hines in the crowd in this game, pregame, so you gotta love it, the support that is out for this Riels squad, and they definitely, well, must use some of it to their advantage, as well as they just were able to get their game going and never looked back. Once they got the first goal, scored by Cole Davis in that first period. He was fantastic with 2 goals tonight. Connor Davis also had a goal. The Riels connecting short-handed, power play-wise as well. As for the Vicks, they just couldn't recover as this game went along. Final shots in this one, 44-19. We're going to get into the players of the game right away. Which for the losing side and the St. Vital Junior Victorias, so we take a look at the statistics. They had Kobe Edwards with an assist. I don't believe that's right on the Baron Baker goal. I'm going to give player of the game tonight to Aiden Anderson. I thought that Aiden Anderson was one of the most noticeable players out there for this Victoria's team. Had the most opportunity to make something happen as this game went along with his speed and how shifty he was with the puck, and put up some good chances on net. His twin brother, had a beautiful assist connecting with Baron Baker. But it's Aiden who gets player of the game tonight. Brought to you by Mid-Canada Fasteners and Tools for the losing side. Be sure to visit their store locations in Brandon and Winnipeg today, as well as their website at midcanadafasteners.shop. As for the winning player of the game, brought to you by Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia. Well, for me, it's Nathan Brzezinski. This guy, 5 assists and counting tonight. They haven't updated the last 2 goals, but yeah, he was tied for the lead in playoff points heading into this one. He was all over it tonight. So many nifty plays with the puck, so many beautiful dangles, and was just... Usually when the Riels were making something dangerous happen, it was going through Brzezinski tonight, and just whether it was a drop pass or, locating his man with a cross-ice pass. No matter what the case would be, Brzezinski has 5 assists in tonight's game. Very dangerous with the puck, and the Riels points leader in the playoffs, the goals leader, also adds on to his assist mark. He's had about 11 points now in his first 3 games, which is unbelievable for number 89. Brought to you by Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia, Winnipeg's premier sports cards and memorabilia store. Be sure to visit their only store location, 995 Miltz Drive, as well as their website at cancentralsportscards.com. As we take a look at the bracket, the Twins now up 3-0. The Riels up 3-0 in their series. As for the Stonewall Jets, so we take a look at how that series ended up going in this game tonight. It's the Hawks who are up 4-3 now with a goal in this third period for them. The Jets also have one in the third. It's 3:18 remaining there. Be sure to check out mmjhl.ca for all the details on the full results from the games. But yeah, Stonewall could be down 2-1 heading into their game 4 on Friday night at Stonewall to the second-seeded Charleswood Hawks, who they've been playing them tough all season long and came away with a victory. But will it be enough for them, and will this be enough to sink the Vicks truly? This game now down 3-0 in this series in this best of 7. There's still hope, though, but the mountain is quite steep for them to climb up against a team in the Riels who just proved again that they get better and better as the game goes along. 44 total shots tonight, 7 goals, and some big-time players making some big-time plays for St. Boniface. We'll have game number 4 from St. Vital at the very latest. We'll be starting that stream just before puck drop, but we do plan on having a short pregame show, if anything. Stay up to date on our website at mmjhl.ca, as well as here on Ustream and on our social media pages, as we'll be updating as we go along as we get closer to puck drop in that game. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight, MMJHL fans, and for those who paid for this first ever pay-per-view live stream of MMJHL playoff game day coverage. I've been your host and play-by-play commentator, Graham the G Show Forsyth. Special thanks to our G Show Productions crew as well tonight, to Mackenzie Thompson, our camera operator, on doing fantastic work for this Game 3 broadcast. It's the Riels who now lead this series 3-0 in this best of 7 Elite 8, looking to close it out on Thursday night at the Centennial at St. Vital Arena. Also want to give a special thanks to our sponsors, Interico, Mid-Canada Fasteners and Tools Goaltenders, and Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia for sponsoring another edition of this MMJHL Playoff Game Day broadcast. We hope to see you next on Thursday, MMJHL fans. Hope you enjoyed this one and decide to tune in again. Until then, it's Graham the G Show Forsyth and the rest of the G Show Productions crew wishing you a great rest of your night and saying so long, everybody. 7-2 Riels win, up 3-0, the 4th seed over the 5th seed in the St. Vital Junior Victorias from this game tonight at Southdale Community Center. Good night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.